Let's get it. As Juan Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker, checking in for a daily Move Swiftly thought, giving your perspective on teamwork you will not get anywhere else, where we do not teach you how to rise to the occasion. We teach you how to fall to your level of preparation. In other words, saying stay ready so you don't got to get ready. Period, point blank. Always in your level of preparation, no matter what the circumstances, no matter what is happening. All right, so recording this, I believe, September 3rd, 2025. Day away now from the opening of NFL football season, and we have some NFL news today, or former NFL news, former players. One of my favorite, not the favorite, in my opinion, the greatest person to lace him up, has made his rounds around social media over the past couple days, and that would be none other than the great Hall of Famer Ray Lewis, two-time Super Bowl champion, two-time defensive MVP. It's the Ray Lewis, again, greatest player that ever played the game of football, is in the news for something that has nothing to do with football, and has been critical of him. There's been some words exchanged between him and Shannon Sharpe, not directly but indirectly. He went on Pat B. David's show and started talking about how shocked he was that Shannon Sharpe has taken the route of alcohol and I guess you would call it misogyny, womanizing, things like that, in order to have success in his on his podcast and his after football playing career, his broadcasting career, so to speak. All right, so again, now I'm going to preference it all by explaining to you again, I am a Ray Lewis fanatic. Between him and Jay-Z, it's going to be hard for me to say anything necessarily negative about those two. However, I am a fan that knows how to use his discernment and say, look, when you're wrong, you're wrong. If he went out there and missed a tackle, hey, I'll be the first one to say he missed that tackle. You got to play better, right? So I'll say I don't think he's necessarily wrong, but I can understand why Ray Lewis is getting the backlash that he's getting, because Shannon Sharpe at one point was a very close friend. And I think a lot of people who keep up with the sports world saw some differences between the two when the whole Colin Kaepernick shit went down and they was going at each other live on camera, and there was just some words exchanged in terms of how they took the Colin Kaepernick situation. But the truth is, I think in Ray Lewis's defense now, the word shocked, he was asked the question, and it's clear that both Shannon Sharpe and Ray Lewis have parted ways. They've grown apart. They're not as close as they once were, which happens. That's life. You know, everybody has their season in life, and it just happens. But the word shocked is a very valid term when you're talking about Shannon Sharpe. It's a very valid term. Listen, I don't know these guys personally. I could just tell you what I've seen as a consumer of sports, a consumer of football for virtually my entire life. And for Shannon Sharpe, I could tell you I'm as shocked as anybody, all right? Anybody that has consumed him, whether you just found out who he was today or if you've been knowing who he was since he was back playing with the Denver Broncos. The word shocked is a very valid word when it comes to everything that Shannon Sharpe has done and what he said. I mean, he got on. Listen, if you can recall, Shannon Sharpe, his famous, probably one of the more famous interviews, famous video clips that has gone absolutely bonkers, right, gone nuclear over the past couple of years, is when he called out Richie Incognito for using the N-word, all right? He was going at it on, it was back when it was CBS, Jim Brown's staff, I think it was CBS Sports, where he was going off on that. And then he goes and gets this position with Skip, and he's all talking about how, you know, we as black men, it's so hard for us to live in the world, and he's so pro-black and pro-young black men doing the right thing, and for him to get caught up in some mess with this 19-year-old girl where he's paying her $30 or $40 million, I think it was some ridiculous number like that. The word shocked is a very valid term, and that's just me speaking on it from the public perception standpoint, much less as somebody like a Ray Lewis, who was at one point his best friend. At one point, you know, they were really, really tight during those years with the Ravens. I think it even got said at one point that, you know, Shannon Sharpe was the first one to reach out to Ray when he was going through his situation with the case, and said, hey, Ray, stay at my place and we're going to be teammates. I mean, they were like brothers. So again, I understand the perspective of, look, you don't throw your friends under the bus when you could call them up and say this and say that to them. However, at the same time, the word that Ray Lewis used was shocked. And like everyone, I think he's just speaking from the heart and saying, hey, I'm shocked. I'm actually shocked. And whether you want to take it as a sign of disrespect or a slight, a shade, or whatever you want to take it as, the word is very valid. And again, in many points, some people have a point when they say, look, you don't throw your friends under the bus because it's private matters and all that. And we all see that argument. So it's just a matter of, hey, if you're really shocked about something, if you really feel that strongly as Ray Lewis obviously feels about what his friend has turned into for the media, you can't necessarily blame him or get mad at him or feel some kind of way about what he said, because he's just speaking the truth. And to be honest with you, again, the public perception of Shannon Sharpe is for somebody, he is somebody who's supposed to be a role model, somebody who's supposed to not get himself caught up with some OnlyFans model, all this stupid bullshit. You're supposed to be some sort of a mentor. You're supposed to be somebody that people look up to. And that is ultimately what Ray Lewis, whether he was right or wrong from saying it, that needed to be said in the public setting by somebody of Ray Lewis's stature. And that I'll agree with, all right? So again, main takeaway from this whole ordeal when it comes to you as a business owner, you have to be willing to part ways with people. You have to be willing to grow in seasons and understand that some people are around for their season. Once their season is done, you got to learn to move the fuck on and say what needs to be said. If it gets said, however it gets taken, it's just a part of life, guys. So all that being said, if you want employee development, if you want your staff to have that same mentality, main website to check out is makeyourmove.com. That's MakeYamove.com. One-stop shop for your teamwork and your self-development needs. As one, Crookshank, your one and only Move Swiftly speaker checking out. You guys continue to move swiftly. We will talk more soon.